Welcome to my channel. This channel is all about the fractal method. The fractal method is a price prediction tool which can be used to foresee the price movements of any stock. There are just some very important rules. Before we start how the fractal method works, first rule is you never talk about the fractal share. Second rule, you never talk about the fractal share. And the third rule, which is more like a warning. Once you have started using this method, it will be impossible for you not to see it anymore. Just saying. Now to the real rules. For this method, it doesn't matter who is buying or selling. For this matter, shorts don't matter at all. Dark pools don't matter at all. They, banks, hedge funds don't matter at all. Fails to delivers don't matter at all. And the most important part, news. News don't matter at all. I would even say that the news is just a try to explain the move, not the other way around. If you okay with these rules, you will have a lot of fun with this method. How it works now. So, the most important parts of this rule are our V, our high low, our A, B, C, L, M, T. What does that mean? So, we start with the explanation with our V. Our V is our lowest point or our bounce target. After the V, we are doing a higher low. After the higher low comes our AA, then A pullback, then B pullback, then C. C is our absolute top of the move. Then we're doing our L, our lower high, fall under it, our midpoint, fall under it to our T, which is the last time to sell before you find your V again. And then the whole thing starts over again. Now to the smaller rules. If we just look at our higher low, this little section here, the higher low is always ending in a V under A. What do I mean with that? If you look at every single letter, so A, B, C, L, M, T, if you just look at our higher low right now, in this higher low is this whole thing is in this higher low. So this is just our higher low, but to get to the peak of this higher low, you also have an A, B, C. And to fall under it again, it's again an L, M, T, V. Okay? And that's why I mean the higher low has to end 100% under the V under A. So if you're forming a higher low, the ending has to be at least 1 cent under the A bottom. What if you're not able to see your A? For example, if you're just doing something like this. Then there is a little trick. You take your fib from your V to the peak of higher low. Your A is 90% of the time under the 0.786 fib. Just as a little helping trick if it really go vertical. So the higher low is 90% of the time under this trend line. The trend line you can pull from your top over your L and T to the downside. The higher low most of the time is under this trend line. When you finished your higher low, you will break out of this trend line and you will form your A. Also the A has an A, B, C, L, M, T. Where does the pullback of A go? Most of the time, the pullback of A is doing a 0.5 or a 0.618 pullback. From where you take your fib from your V to the top of A and your bounce is at the 0.5 or at the 618. Here, just additional rule, the higher low, as I told before, has to end in a V and a A. That's fact. It has to be at least 1 cent under the A bottom. The 0.5 and the 0.618 pullback can bounce a little bit over it, at it, or under it. It doesn't have to be 100% exact. The only thing which A isn't allowed is to touch or fall under the 786. Then something is wrong. Okay, after the A, you go up to your B. What is the B pullback? The B pullback is most of the time a 0.5 pullback. Sometimes it can pull back to the 618. From where do you pull this? This time you're not looking at the V. You're taking your fib from the A bottom to the B peak, and then you're looking for the 0.5 pullback. After you finish this, you go to your C, your peak. So for the downfall, when does LMT start? Well, you have your peak, you fall down, and then when you are getting to your little V here, you go up to your L. Now the important thing is, when is L ending? L is only ending when it's dropping under the point where it started. So at this point. Only then M can start. Yeah? Means, you see here, we start our L, we make our L peak, we fall. Then the M can start. And for the M, there are the same rules. M is only finished when it's falling under the point where it started. And the same for T. Also, your B pullback isn't allowed to pull lower than the A bottom. If this happens, that's not B. The same thing, your A peak can't be higher than your B peak. Yeah? It has to be lower. Yeah? Okay. Now can you predict where your next A or your next B is? Yeah? Therefore, we can use our previous M and T, because 99% your next B is over the M line, your previous M line. So if you really are 100% sure that this is your M, you can just draw a vertical line to the right side. Your next B should be over this line. The same for your A. Your next A should be a little bit higher than your previous T. Now to the trend lines. We always, or quite often, can pull a trend line from our absolute top to our bottom. Yeah? And this trend line is touching our lower high, our midpoint, our T. When we find our V, 90% our higher low isn't breaking this trend line. So you do your V, you do your higher low, but you're rejecting this trend line, you make a higher low, and after the finish of this higher low, you break out and do your A. But there are also cases where you have your C, your lower high, your midpoint, but your T is too short. Your T isn't reaching this trend line. In that case, you can use an additional trend line from your M to your T. And in that case, after you find your bottom, your next higher low is most of the time not allowed to break this trend line. Yeah? So it would be a smaller higher low. Yeah, I think that's the whole fractal method. You can use it for everything. Normal stocks, ETFs, crypto. The only difference for crypto is that in crypto, your B pullback is most of the time really not a 0.5. Most of the time it's a 6.8. But that's the only difference. And of course, if you're tracking an ETF, which is just since IPO going up, yeah, you can't track something like this. So, if you're interested, on my channel we already tracked more than 50 stocks, meme stocks, crypto, normal stocks. Just a little warning. When you start, you won't be able to not see it anymore. Okay. Have fun, and maybe we see us again. Bye.